You know, what do you do after a game like that? And seeing what you just saw on that game, Arkansas gets obliterated by 40 plus against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And look, I'm not going to get on here and say that Notre Dame is not a bad team or is a bad team. They're not. I mean, I think we're pretty much well aware of that. But for you to go into this game, understand, Arkansas going into this one was, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, probably a 5 or 6 point dog going into this one. So Vegas expected this one to be somewhat close. I wouldn't have blamed them. And I pretty much am in agreement with them. I thought this was going to be one of those games. And if you listened into our conversation with myself and Chris Phillips, whenever we talked this past Saturday, or not this past Saturday, but this past Wednesday, we both thought that this was going to be one of those games that Arkansas has every year. They're going to find a way to stay in the game, and they're going to find a way to defeat a really good team. You thought this was the game. Obviously, this was not. But we'll get into it all. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. This is SEC Live. This is the Final Whistle Recap Live here on the Voice of College Football. I am your host, as always, Lucas Hill. Make sure you all do us a favor. Hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Turn on that bell notification down below so that you are notified every time we go live here on SEC Live. Thank you to our good friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Going over to UnderdogFantasy.com. Use that promo code VOCFBSEC, and when you play your first $5 lineup, you will get $50 instantly in free bets. That's VOCFBSEC. And when you play that first $5 lineup, you will get $50 in free bets. Must be 21 or older, not available in all states. Gambling problem, that's call 1-800-GAMBLER. That is 1-800-GAMBLER. We'll take a break. We'll get into the game.
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Bratta, Matt Zemek, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and then select the betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.
Let's get into the game, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, LSU and Ole Miss. Ole Miss on their second drive of the game. It's 0-0 still. Texas A&M just scored. It is 7-0. But Auburn has the football. LSU forces a drop. It's 3rd and 10. Notre Dame had this game won from start to finish. There's no other way to describe it. And I feel like this is also because, look, Notre Dame capitalized off of big plays. We know the things, when it's all said and done, that Arkansas's defense struggled with most was trying to defend a big play. They gave up a lot of them. And this has been nothing new. All season they've done this. And it's been a problem that you've had to fix for some time. And you haven't been able to do that. So, whether it be through an adjustment, whether it be through personnel changes, something's got to change. I think we're all aware of that. And it's all about timing at the end of the day. And I think it's so frustrating if you're an Arkansas fan that you haven't really been able to pull the plug just yet. Because, let's be real, Arkansas, for some odd reason, just was not able to do that last year. That when they really should have pulled the plug on. And when it mattered most. Big play. Oh! LSU's about to go for a big one. They're inside the 15-yard line. Let's see if they can't capitalize. But when the bright lights are most important for Arkansas, they fail to deliver. This has been proven time and time and time again. You know it. I know it. I think we all know it. But this has been nothing new if you're Arkansas. So you start off, you get a field goal on your first possession, and then this is where you lost the game. You know what Notre Dame did best? They busted Arkansas in the mouth and exposed their weakness because Arkansas can't tackle in open space. You want to know what killed Arkansas last week? Not being able to tackle. That's what killed you. Killed you, man. That's what kills drives. That's the truth. First down, LSU, Barry and Brown. But C.J. Carr let it rip through the air, man. 354 yards on 22 of 30 and 4 scores. He ripped it against that defense, man. And you knew he was going to do it. You knew. Because you put your trust in number 13 against a secondary that had no business being on that field. And to be honest with you, had zero business of even being close in that sense. But overall, here's where you are right now. Notre Dame had almost 400 yards of offense in the first half alone. They had, I think, 306. They had 351 or so in the first half. 351 in the first half. Really? Really? Actually, I think they did have 400 yards of offense in the first half because they scored. Speaking of scoring, LSU scores off of a Nick Anderson touchdown. What a freaking catch. What a freaking play. What a freaking heads-up play by Nick Anderson. It gets tipped up by Trey'Dez Green, and then Nick Anderson comes out and makes an incredible catch. He tucks that football away, too. That's a catch. That ball never hits the ground. It doesn't even bounce. That's a catch. And, of course, they're going to look at it. That's a touchdown, though, man. Going up against the former LSU safety and Sage Ryan. I thought he caught it. This is really close. That ball doesn't look like it hits the turf. I thought Nick secured it before he went out of bounds. I thought that was a really, really close call, though. But Notre Dame had 400 yards of offense before the end of the half. Yeah, touchdown. Figured that was going to be the case. And then I'm not even going to bore you with the second half. Arkansas would turn it over on downs. Notre Dame would turn it over on downs. It would lead to 2 more Notre Dame touchdowns. Arkansas would finally get into the red zone, and then Luke Talek would get an interception in the red zone. But this is where Arkansas is at this current moment. You have a coach that you cannot rely on. It's the bottom line. You have a coach whose athletic director said that you cannot win national championships here. They said football, where we are right now, we're not set up to win a national championships. But I think we're set up to compete really well in the SEC, especially with the new revenue sharing model. The problem is that you can't develop dudes at the next level. And that is the bottom line when it is all said and done. So Arkansas's got to go look at themselves in the mirror, staff-wise, and say, is this really what we want the rest of the season to look like? When you get embarrassed in front of a home crowd by 43, I don't know what the hell's going on with special teams. Did they just draw them off with a hard count? Look at BK smirking. I love BK. And if you're watching the game, bro, BK the biggest freaking smirk on his face, and it's so funny. So they declined the penalty. Interesting. But anyways. But I mean, if you're Arkansas right now, is this the time to now officially pull the plug? You're 2-3 right now. And we talked with John Neighbors at the start of the season. We said the most important game of the season would be that Memphis game. And now after this one, this is a rough stretch for Arkansas, where you go to Knoxville next week. You play Texas A&M in 2 weeks. You play Auburn. You play Mississippi State. At LSU, at Texas, at Missouri. You very well might go 2-10 when it is all said and done and be winless in the SEC. Guys, that's the bottom line. Because right now, you are not good. You are a very bad program with very bad morals. With very, very low expectations. Guys, if you really think that they can get SEC championships, and if you really think that they can contend for an opportunity to win a national championship, you're dead wrong. It's the bottom line, man. It's the bottom line. So, whether we like it or not, man, that is where you are as a program. That's where Arkansas will be for now as a program until you get a new HC in there. So whether you like it or not, man, that is essentially the state of Arkansas right now, is that you have a bad program with a bad leader that is not going to win you championships. That is going to continue to push you deeper and deeper in the hole. Worse than you are right now. So if you're Arkansas, man, you got to find someone to lead this program in a new direction. Whether you elevate Bobby Petrino as your new head coach or whether it be someone else, I don't know with what Arkansas can do at this point in time. Memphis broke them. I think the Memphis game broke you as a program. I think it broke you as a team. And it's a hard thing to recover from. It's not easy. It is far from easy. So, guys, we'll see, because right now, let me just tell you. Y'all hear the sirens? It's time to pull the emergency breaking news out. It's time to pull that out, and let's just say Sam Pittman's time as head coach at the University of Arkansas is over with. It's the bottom line. You know, there's nothing else that we can say other than that. That's it. I don't get it. You're telling me that Hunter Yurachek says that you're in contention to compete for national championships, but you don't go spend the money and go get a coach that can lead you to one. And you don't go get dudes in the portal. You talent, but you're not developing, especially on the defensive side of the ball. That's where you're weakest. That's where primarily your concerns are at. Holy cow. That special teams unit just got after Ole Miss. Dude, I'm telling you, this might be a freaking blowout when it's all said and done. I'm really liking where this game is headed towards if you're LSU right now. But let me know what you guys think. Do we fire Sam Pittman at the end of it all? Because I'll just be honest with you guys. I'm so sick of having to not even really try to defend. Just bottom line, try to freaking accept the terms that he's still there. You should have fired him last week, man. Should have. But that's the bottom line, guys. That's where you're at. Guys, thank you so much for hopping on in for this final whistle recap really fast. I do appreciate you all being here. Got a good bit of people that came up in here and came and watched us. Guys, we will be back tomorrow morning. We're going to be back. I know it's a little bit odd, but we're going to have final whistle tomorrow morning. We're going to break down all that we saw around SEC land. We're going to talk a lot around what was a very, very interesting slate here around the SEC. I'll break down my power rankings. We got a lot of things planned out for you guys in the next couple days. So stay tuned to us here. Make sure you do us a favor. Hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Turn on that bell notification so that you are notified for every time we post a new video here on SEC Live at the Voice of College Football. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, stay blessed and don't stress. Y'all have a great rest of the night. We'll see you guys tomorrow.